Good morning, Janet. Yes, I feel good today too, Janet. I feel real good. I have to be honest, y'all. I feel real good this morning. Really good. Really. I feel really good this morning. So we're about to get into it. You guys know how I do. I don't wait too long. I just get in it. Good morning, Veronica. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I feel really good. And y'all know I'm about to get started, right? Because I don't know how many of you saw it, but we got some breaking news out here today. And the breaking news is that dysfunction in your life has taken a blow. But we got to find out why the news is breaking and what is so significant about this rest that we're about to take. Good morning, Susan. About this rest that we're about to take this morning. Because remember, I told y'all every morning is fresh. So it's fresh. It's fresh. It's that fruitful rain. It's that fruitful soil. And so I wanted to really understand what it meant. Because we got breaking news. Dysfunction has taken a hard blow. Is it safe to rest? Right? That's the question. That's the ultimate question. So we're going to get right in and we're going to talk about it. Now, you know how I do. I give you definitions. All right? Because what good is all this stuff telling you this stuff and we don't really know what this stuff means? Right? So you guys ready? What does break news? So what does break mean? So we're talking about breaking news. Right? So what does break mean? Break means to separate or cause to separate into pieces as a result of a blow, shock, or strain. Right? Again, if you're coming in and you're saying good morning and I don't respond back to you, it's because you're on a different page. So try to come to Latisha Anderson's page, okay? So what are you saying, Tisha? So the breaking news, the word break in news, that was intentional, is to separate or cause to separate into pieces as a result of a blow, shock, or strain, right? So we're trying to find out, is it safe for us to rest now? Because dysfunction has taken a break. Dysfunction has taken a blow. Dysfunction has taken a strain. Something has interrupted the flow of dysfunction, because that's what break is, to interrupt a continual sequence or course. So you've interrupted the dysfunction in your life. You've interrupted it when you made it take a break, right? A pause in work or doing an activity or event. So you've caused a lot of dysfunctional things to pause because you've caused them to break, because you've interrupted the cycle. You've interrupted how it morphs. You've interrupted it. I'm so excited, right? The other definitions of break are this: to separate into parts with suddenness or violence. Because you couldn't come at dysfunction easily. It had to be a violent attack. It had to be that way in order for you to break some stuff. That's why people always be saying stuff like, we're going to break generational curses. Well, that means you have to do it violently. That means it has to be sudden. That means that they're unaware. It doesn't know what you're doing. It does, because if you give it time, it'll replicate your behavior. So for people who always trying to tell me, well, I'm going to do it shortly, as the old people say, directly. No, we got to do this now. The breaking news is that it's taking a blow. It's seeing your progress. It's watching you evolve, and it's not sure what to do because you've suddenly changed it. You've suddenly done something different. You're starting to boost your immune system, and them white blood cells are starting to do what they need to do, and you're shaking it. You've shook it. You have taken a break. Dysfunction has taken a break. You ready? To cause, like a bone, to separate into two or more pieces. See, that's why we got to be very specific when you say you want to break generational cycles or generational curses. When you break something, you just putting it in many pieces. We're not trying to break things. Good morning, Simone. Hello, Carla. We're not trying to break something, because when you break a generational cycle, all you've done is put it into different pieces. So where it was one piece, you've broken it. And all it did was take a pause, and then it reroots itself. Oh, I'm so excited. To dislocate and fracture like you do a bone, like you do your neck. You can break like a bone in your back and not die. You just dislocated it. So when you ride time, we breaking generational curses, all you're doing is putting it in different pieces. You're just collecting more pieces of the dysfunction. You've just placed it in a different area and you're giving it time to heal. Remember, we're not trying to we're not trying to resuscitate dysfunction. We need a do not resuscitate order. When you choose to not resuscitate the dysfunction, you are not breaking it, you are destroying it. Okay. I get so excited, right? To cause an open wound, especially in the skin, to break. Because what happens is all of these things, when you break something, pain manifests. If I break my bone, that's going to hurt. When I break something, I can break it in more than one place. That does not mean it's destroyed. That just simply means it's broken. When my grandmother, she would have because she works in a facility, so they start saying, you have to be careful about breaking her skin. She gets skin tears because you've sat somewhere so long, the skin has begun to soften, or because it's sat in moisture and all these other kind of things. Good morning, Annette. So because you've sat in these things, what's starting to happen is that you're starting to realize that I can't just break dysfunction, because all that really means is to pause. All that really means is that I put it in more than one spot. All that really means is where it was one huge issue, now there's many, many issues. Because all I did was break it. I break the cycle. I break the curse. You just split it up. That's really all that happened. You just split that thing up. That's it. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I know it's breaking news. When they say breaking news, that means they interrupt what you're doing to tell you what they need to tell you, and then they send you back to your regularly scheduled program. We're not going back to this function, honey. We got to destroy that thing. So the question was this morning, is it safe to rest? Even though break and rest sound like the same thing, they do not have the same meaning, because rest is completely different from break. When I looked up the definition for break, everything had something to do with violence. So when you come at dysfunction, you have to come violently. It has to be sudden. But you ain't come to break dysfunction. You came to destroy dysfunction. That's completely different. Dysfunction has to be killed. You can't even annihilate dysfunction. And I'm going to tell you why later. You can't even vanquish it or annihilate it. No. Because no. You giving it time to give itself some strength to come back. We're not doing that. We're not coming to break nothing else. We're coming to destroy it. Because when I broke that generational curse. No, really, you just created something else. That's really all that you did. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. But when you broke it, you just put it up in little pieces. Like, you know how you can take a lizard and cut its tail, but it'll grow back? You ain't do nothing with it. You just broke it and then gave it room to do whatever else it need to do. I have 3 boys, honey, so I see all the stuff. Now we're going to talk about rest, because before we get to destroy, we got to talk about rest. Rest is repose, right? And I'm going to tell y'all what that is. And it's sleep. And so it's kind of like, okay, can we rest now? Because dysfunction has taken a blow, which means something in your cycle, something that you always do has been broken. You need to break it. But when you break it, you must destroy it. You have to kill it. You have to chop it off at the head. We didn't come to play no games. I'm trying to tell y'all, right? So, what is rest? Rest is freedom from activity or labor, a state of motionlessness or inactivity, the repose of death. So that's why you tell people to rest in peace. Why? Because they've just whatever was attacking them, whatever killed them, it can't happen no more. Why? Because the host has died. You can't be dead and still in dysfunction. That's not how this works. So you have to understand, when you come to rest at something, the only way you're going to be able to rest from dysfunction is if you destroy it. You cannot simply break generational curses. That's not how this works. You have to destroy it. You have to kill it. We're not taking, because the only way we're going to get a rest, listen, a place of resting, a lodging. But the one that I liked, that came with rest, was a peace, P-E-A-C-E, of mind or spirit. See, dysfunction don't want you to have no peace. It comes to disturb your peace. As a matter of fact, it wants to destroy your peace. Dysfunction not coming to break your peace, because dysfunction understands that that peace can come back. No. Dysfunction wants to destroy. It wants to kill your peace. But when you have ultimate rest, you have peace of mind and spirit. Okay. Right. So when you have a piece of music, remember like a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about harmony and how everything has to align. So when there's a rest in music, it's a rhythmic silence. So it's like a dun dun, and then you just come back up and it flows again. It's something that's gradual. It's harmony. It flows together. Your rest has to flow with your evolvement. The reason some of you keep feeling like you're doing generational cycles, or you keep compassing the same mountain over and over and over again, and you keep saying that I got over it, I did this. No, all you did was break it. Baby, we come to destroy it. We're not trying to be friends with dysfunction. We're not trying to simply annihilate it. We're not trying to vanquish it. We come to kill it. Because if you do not, the breaking news is, no, it's not going to be safe for you to rest if all you do is break it. It's not going to be okay for you to rest if you just hit it real quick with a blow. When you do that, that gives you time to get yourself together, but you got to be consistent. Remember, we have to be consistent. We have to excel. We have to accelerate. We got to ascend. We have to go up, because if we don't, it ain't nothing to play with. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? So they say it's even a brief pause in reading, right? It's brief. Because let's take a break from reading. That's brief. So what's been happening is, why some of you keep feeling like you're failing, is because all you've been doing is breaking from the dysfunction. You ever have a woman who was in an abusive relationship? I can talk about this because my mama was in one. All she would do was take a break from my daddy. Because as soon as she felt rested, they ended up back together. Because dysfunction does what? Dysfunction know how to mimic behavior. So when you take a rest, when you take a break at work, I can't wait till I take my break. You're not resting. You're just anxious to get finished with the taskmaster or the task at hand. You know you got to go back, but at least that little 15-minute break or that little 30-minute break or that little hour break give you a moment to kind of gather your thoughts together. But we're not trying to take no break from dysfunction. We come to destroy it, because that's abnormal behavior. We are tired of being conditioned. Remember what is in power: to become stronger and more confident, gaining control over your life and your rights. If you don't have none of that, all you're doing is breaking it. But you're allowing it to be broken in little pieces, more and more pieces. So then that makes you rethink you believing that, oh, my mama didn't try, or my grandma or my daddy them didn't try. No. They probably did do things to break the cycles, to break the generational issues, to break the generational dysfunction. But because all they did was break it, they just cut it up in little pieces. Remember what dysfunction wants you to do? It don't want you to be rehabilitated. It just wants you to build other prisons of confinement for you and your children, for generation to generation to generation, because all you're doing is taking a break. I'm so excited. So then, what is rest? Now I need y'all to understand this. It's something used for support. So you rest on the arm of a chair. You rest in a chair. You know what? Give me a minute, y'all. I have to take a rest. Let me sit here. So rest supports your evolvement. Rest supports your journey. When you remember, we don't live life as a situation. We don't live life as a circumstance. We live life as a journey. And when you understand going from one place to the next, you realize that in my journey, I'm allowed to rest. There's a place of support for me on my journey. When you live life as a situation, there is no rest. All you have are breaks, because you got to get back to the routine of the dysfunction. You got to get back to the routine of the cycle, the craziness that's going on. You have no rest. But when you live life as a journey, that's something you travel from one place to the next. You are able to embrace your rest. You cannot embrace a break. Because you got to go back to the task at hand. That's why people say I feel well rested. When you have real rest, that's why we learned about self-care and being selfish. Why? Because in that is my rest. Because when you are in rest, when your peace is at rest, when your spirit is at rest, everything else has to align with it. There's a harmony. There's a flow with it. The rest is not something I have to fight for. It comes. But I don't know how to do that when I'm just taking breaks from dysfunction. A break will strengthen you because dysfunction mimics behavior. It will strengthen you to go back to the dysfunction. And you tell yourself, oh, I just need a little break. Now I'm going to come back and tackle it. No, I don't want no. I'm not coming back to this. I'm tired of this. Like at some point, that's what you got to tell yourself. I'm just tired of this. Right? So rest has so many definitions. Free of anxieties. Now I need you to know something. A lot of the definitions of rest represent freedom. Break didn't say that. Break did not say nothing about no freedom. When people break out of jail, eventually they're going to catch you and you're going to go back. There is no rest in break. You're just constantly trying to figure out how I'm going to do this and how I'm going to do that. You're always, when you just take a break, man, all I got was that little 15-minute break because you haven't been able to rest. Y'all ready? Resting. To get rest by laying down or to lie dead. So wait, rest means that I'm going to lie dead. That's why people be like, rest in peace. Yes. But in order for you to have true rest, dysfunction has to die to lie dead. So when my dysfunction dies, not break, when that generational cycle dies, not break, that's when I'll have rest. That's when I will have rest. The dysfunction has to die. Not take a break. Not break generational curses. I break generational curses. Yeah, you just making that stuff multiply. Remember what we learned yesterday? You got to ascend it. Right? Or the other day, you got to ascend it. You got to count each step. In order for you to count it all joy, that's the good, the bad, the ugly, and the different. You got to count it all joy. Hold on, y'all, because I'm ready. Hold on. To cease from action or motion, refrain from labor or exertion. To be free from anxiety or disturbance. To sit and lie fixed or supported. Rest gives support. When you always going and you say this, I just need a little break, especially people who pour into other people. You know, life coaches, preachers, counselors, them. You will never have peace if all you do is take breaks. You have to rest. You have to stop. You have to, I can't do it. No, I'm not taking a break. I have to rest from this. There is a difference. In rest is the freedom. In rest is the support that you need. You cannot and will not remove any generational curses by simply breaking them. That ain't even true. Because, you know, some of y'all are so religious. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how I'm going to tell you this is true. You can break a glass, right? And people like, you shatter a little piece. And people like, just glue that back together. But it's broke. You can even take certain things that's broken or damaged and recycle it. It's still glass. It just came back different. Still paper, just came back different. They just recycled it. When you destroy something, it ain't no coming back. We can't bring you back. There is nothing there left. It is dead. But it's so, y'all, I get so excited. Y'all ready? Okay. Now, another thing about rest that is really neat is to remain confident. Confident? Why have I heard that word before? Because empowerment is to become stronger and more confident. So In my empowerment is my rest? Yes, because you become confident. As a matter of fact, the definition that they gave was that in law, that's why they say I rest my case, because I'm confident in the evidence that I've given you that this gonna be destroyed. I'm not trying to take no break. They don't say I break my case. They say I rest my case. When they say there's a break in the case, that means something has happened violently. Something has been discovered. Something has been exposed. There's been a break. But there has not been any rest. Because rest means I got the support. I'm confident in the evidence that we about to put dysfunction on trial. And we got to destroy him. We're not trying to let him live out the life sentences. No, this is immediate death. This is lethal. So all this stuff that we've been doing, all these days, all this stuff that we've been doing, what you have to realize, what you got to understand is that we've been bringing the evidence. We've been exposing it. We've been pulling it up at the root. We've decided we're no longer going to just prune hedges. We're going to expose it. In order for death to happen, the virus has to be exposed. Remember, way in the beginning, we were taught that the virus has to live in a living host. What's happening for many of us, what's happening for all of us, is that because we've exposed it, we're weakening it. And we made some choices that caused a blow to dysfunction. And I don't want y'all to rest because you can't. I don't want you to take a break and think that's it. No, ma'am. No, sir. We got to kill it. It must be destroyed. It must be destroyed. It has to be destroyed. The dysfunction has to die. Okay. Y'all ready? Y'all, I get so excited. My little legs are shaking under this table. So, farmland, right? Because remember, we were talking about fruitful rain, fruitful soil. So, rest cover all the stuff we've been talking about, right? To remain idle or uncropped. It's at rest. Because sometimes some of us, we want to get in there and start tilling it and messing with it. And sometimes you just got to let it do what it do. It has to be in its organic state. It has to rest. It doesn't mean it don't have no value, but it has to rest. Because you can be breaking stuff for so long that you're just making little more pieces. And after a while, you don't even know where all the pieces went. Like glass. When glass breaks or it shatters, and you think you done got it all up, and before you know it, somebody done walked across and this one little piece done cut them, and now they're bleeding. That's how dysfunction works when you break dysfunction. When you break generational curses, and you think you done got it all up, then that little piece, all it needs is one living hose. It was never dead. It was just sitting there waiting. Remember, it incubates. Waiting for the right time, like a bed bug. They sleep for like 6 months, then they just pop up. Because if you don't kill it, all you're doing is giving it a break. So that's what's happened. You're looking at your life and you're like, man, every so many months or every so many years, this thing comes back. I just knew I had broke that generational cycle. You're right, you did break it. So it just hit out. Until the right vessel came along and said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead on and tap her. I'm going to go ahead and cut her so I can enter in. I'm not going to mess with y'all today. I feel so good this morning. Y'all ready? To bring to an end voluntarily the introduction of evidence and a law case. What did I tell y'all? Rest is, we done done everything. We done acknowledged it. We done acknowledged it. We've accepted it. We've embraced it. The only way that we're going to be able to evolve from it is that we have to rest our case. You have to rest your case. We're not taking no breaks. We have to kill dysfunction. We have to destroy dysfunction. Now, this is why we can't just take no break from it. This is why we can't vanquish it. Okay, so what is destroy? Y'all ready? Y'all, I'll be so excited. What is destroy? Put an end to the existence of something, or by damaging or attacking it. So we got to put dysfunction to a what? To an end. The only way to take rest from generational cycles, generational curses, generational dysfunctions is to eliminate its existence. It has to die. You have to destroy it. And how do I keep the dysfunction from coming back? We got to go all the way back to when we learned what it meant to anoint. You have to keep this oiled. You have to continue to empower yourself. You have to stay boosted in your immune system. Because if you do not destroy dysfunction, it will come back. And when it come back with the vengeance. Remember? So wait. What does destroy mean? To ruin the structure, the organic existence or condition of it. Why is the word organic so important? What have we been learning? That you cannot prune hedges. In order for you to destroy dysfunction, you got to get to the authentic root of it, the origin of it. You got to get it. We learned we had to expose it. Where there is no exposure, that's why roots have to be in the ground, hidden from everything and everybody. That's why. Because it doesn't want to be exposed. That dysfunctional stuff y'all got going on in y'all household with the granddaddies and the uncles and the aunties and stuff, everybody been messing with somebody and nobody don't want to expose that. I don't be telling me I broke the family curse because I moved away from it. No, ma'am, you just gave it a new location. No, sir, you just gave it a new location because you didn't expose it. And exposure, it's just like vampires, right? Vampires like dark places. They can't stand the sunlight. Dysfunction don't like exposure. It like dark places. That's why I like to stay in your mind when your mind is dark. When your thoughts are dark. When your thoughts are evil. It has to thrive on that. Dysfunction is dark. Dysfunction is evil. It does not like the exposure. So are we going to simply break generational dysfunction? Or are we going to destroy it? Right? Wait. To ruin it as to tearing it up by shreds. Because see, some of us, we just going in for the kill. We going to cut it off at the throat. We going to call it a day. But some of us, we ripping it. It don't matter how you do it. Shred it up. Shred it up and set it on fire. Break that thing. Do what you got to do. Because see, the shred mean you doing this thing piece by piece. Because sometimes that's how it happens. You find a little bit, I got to shred that. Then you get something else, I got to shred that. And then you realize as you expose it, each person in your family, each person begin, because that's, the strength comes when you unite. The true destroying of dysfunction is when we all become aware that this thing has bonded us as a family. And we have to do it generation by generation by generation by generation. Right? Ooh. But we can't just break it. Because some people think, oh, I broke the spirit, the generational thing of poverty. Let's just use that, right? Because you got the house and the car and whatever. But if you don't know who you are still in poverty. Money don't change that. When you realize that's a mindset, that'll blow your mind. We're not going to go there today. You have to expose the dysfunction. Put it out in the open so it has nowhere to hide internally. Remember, a virus has to have a living host. A virus cannot live on cannot stay in a dead host. That's not even how this works. Now, what's so important about destroy? Destroy is to put out of existence. So for those of you who always right here talking about y'all generational breakers, don't do that no more. I need you to be a generational destroyer. I need you to put it out of existence. So on here, I need y'all to write, I destroy dysfunction in my family. That's all I want y'all to put. I destroy dysfunction in my family. I kill it. I slay it. Whatever you want to call it. I need you to put that down. There's a reason. Y'all know how I am. We got to write it and make it plain. We got to be vocal about it. We have to expose it. So do you destroy it? I destroy generational cycles of foolery. I destroy generational cycles of dysfunction. However you want to do it, that's what I need you to say. Now, what we not doing, we not going to neutralize it. We have to destroy it. Because neutralizing it just really means that you take away its weapons, but you still going to let it live. No, ma'am. We going to annihilate you and vanish you. No, because if we just vanquish you, that just means we crippled you, but we didn't destroy you. You have to destroy dysfunction. We not crippling dysfunction. We destroying dysfunction. We not going to send it off on the Isle of Patmos. We're going to kill it. See, this makes so much sense, right? Like when we used to be in the Bible, when we read the Bible and stuff at church, this stuff really starting to make sense. And remember what God used to tell the children of Israel? He'll be like, listen, bruh, don't go in there taking nothing. Leave them people stuff alone. Kill everything and everybody. The cattle, the people, the children, everything. Because if you don't, it's going to come back with the vengeance. And every time somebody was disobedient, what happened? It came back with the vengeance. This makes sense to me now. It's all making sense to me now. We've been playing with dysfunction too long. Because we want to feel like we better. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I have to kill the dysfunction in my family. So when you say dysfunction stops here, make sure you're not just taking a break from dysfunction, that you're absolutely and ultimately killing it. That's right, Simone. That's right, Teresa. That's right, Janet. That's right, Veronica. That's right, Miss Susan. You have to destroy it. You got to kill it. You got to slay it. We're not taking breaks, because breaks only mean that you just broke it up in pieces. You ain't doing nothing. That's why verbiage is everything. In order for us to feel safe and take rest, we have to kill it dead. And you can't kill something you don't even know how to recognize. For most of us, we didn't even realize it was dysfunction. We didn't even know our triggers. We didn't understand our triggers. So here we are in these streets trying to figure out what's going on, why we keep repeating this same dysfunction. And you think, cause that's right, Festus. And you think because your mama preacher and a pastor and your daddy this and that and they're Apostle Tutu Tawan and whatever else you want to call them, and that, no ma'am, no sir, it's dysfunction all up in there. Why? Because we learned that we put on habits like clothing, because habits were clothing. So we got to destroy the habits. We got to kill them, burn them up. Stop putting on the dysfunction, trying to hide the dysfunction. No, ma'am. No, sir. Destroy. Take it off. Set it afire. Take it off. Blow it up. Take however you want to kill it. Kill it. But you got to stop putting them habits on. And a lot of that, let me tell y'all, so I could talk about it because both my grandfathers were pastors. So both my grandmothers, first ladies, pastor wives, whatever you want to call it. Both my parents, preacher kids. And what I can tell you for a fact is dysfunction ran up and down all those lines. Every last one of them. So just because you in a habit, because you got a cloak or whatever they call that crap y'all put on your neck, because you got people following you, but you're in dysfunction, all you're doing is creating other dysfunctional behaviors and creating other dysfunctional habits from generation to generation. And you're spewing the dysfunction all over the flock. You're spewing it all over the sheep. You're spewing it all over your family because you don't want to take the habit off. You want somebody to recognize your position, but I'm here to expose your dysfunction. I don't care about your position. If you're dysfunctional, your position is dysfunctional. Your title does not erase the dysfunction. Get your whole life together. That's not, oh my God. Your title does not erase your dysfunction. I don't care if you could prophesy fire from heaven. Let me tell you something. When Moses turned that water into blood, right? The other people did the same thing. You're not doing nothing nobody else can't do. So sometimes we get so confused about this thing. Take the habit off. Oh, I don't care what your title is. If you are dysfunctional, everything coming out your mouth is dysfunctional. Call me a liar. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you about these cycles. You in leadership, not just like pastors and stuff, but doctors, teachers, lawyers, judges. You're in positions, but your mind is dark. Your mind is nasty. Your mind is dirty. That title never took away the dysfunction. It just gave you the ability to operate in it the same way, just a little bit more hidden, because you put on a habit. Because you dress the dysfunction up in a habit. It does not change the dysfunction. Let me tell you something, you just graduated, you can break it. That means you took a pause in the cycle. My mama them didn't graduate high school. I did. Technically speaking, I broke that. That don't mean that sucker can't come back. Because I gotta heal it. I gotta slice it at the head. I broke it. Remember, oh my God, what was the one we learned when it was saying that we like to focus on the manifestation of a thing and not the core or the cause of it. So we've been focusing on the manifestation, but we have not been focusing on the cause. And in order for you to kill the dysfunction, you got to know what the cause is. So stop putting the habits on. Remember, power just wants you to have control over other people or events. So you think your title gives you power. It does, to operate in dysfunction. Well, that's a judge. That's a lawyer. He a police officer. She's a pastor. He's a pastor. And what we keep seeing, dysfunction. But they put the habit on. They dressed it well. So now we have this expectation of them because they've learned how to hide the dysfunction in the dark places and put the habits on. Exposed to dysfunction. Kill it. We're not taking breaks no more. We're not breaking generational curses because that crap come back. We're going to kill it. We're not going to vanquish it. I'm going to annihilate it. You're just sending it somewhere else. No, ma'am. No, sir. We're killing it. It has to die. That's what we're doing. Today is its death. Because that's the only way we're going to be safe. You can't be safe when dysfunction is on a break. You can't be safe because you out here proud that I'm a generational, I break generational curses. So you just told me that you spread me. See how words have power, but we give them life? Words have life, but we give them power. I don't know how many of you have ever watched the movie The Great Debaters with Denzel Washington. And he began to talk about the weapon of words. How to use your words as a weapon. And when we realize that words have been used against us since forever as weapons. Because when you understand the power of your words, when you understand you have the ability to give life, you have the ability to manifest, but you want your words to be fruitful so that way they can reproduce. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So what we doing? That's right. You destroy the dysfunction in your family. We destroying all of that. Destroy it. Heal it. You got to pull it up, chop it, burn it. We don't want this happening no more. This can't come back. I'm sorry. No, I'm not even sorry. This junk ain't coming back no more. Right? So now let's talk about safe. Because I saved safe for last. Right? Yeah, safe. Because the question was, it was stated that dysfunction has taken a hard blow. Is it safe to rest? I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. Take us to the movies. Y'all know, I'm telling y'all got to watch Great Debaters. You have to. You have to. Great Debaters will blow your mind. It teaches some stuff. I'm trying to tell you, with Denzel Washington, I'm telling you. I ain't going to do it, Teresa. I'm telling you. So what is safe? Protected from or not exposed to danger or risk. Not likely to be harmed or lost. Right? So if I'm going to be safe in my rest, I cannot simply take a break from dysfunction. I have to destroy it, because that's the only way I'm going to feel protected. Remember, our insecurities make us feel unprotected. Remember? Y'all remember that? Our insecurities cause us to create prisons of confinement. Dysfunction wants us to stay in a dark place because it needs a dark place to manifest. It needs to incubate. So when I authentically feel safe in my rest, that means I feel protected. But I'm telling y'all, you will not feel fully protected until you destroy, until you kill dysfunction. Because it'll come back with the vengeance. That's why when like parents, sometimes I get it and they be like, I'm nothing like that. I'm not like her, but you really are. I'm not like him, but you really are. What happened was you got yourself together and you took a break from the dysfunction, but you still passed it down to your seed. So it manifested, it just looked different, but it's the same thing. And some of you have had a mnesim, which means to forget. You don't forgot a whole lot of your dysfunctional behaviors. And so you sit in the seat of judgment. You got to remove the eye of judgment. And when you remove the eye of judgment, you start to feel exposed and you start to feel naked, because then you realize, let me tell y'all something. When we started removing it, and you can ask a lot of them on here, you start seeing stuff so different. You just be like, oh, that's just dysfunction. Oh, they just dysfunctional. Oh, like it makes it different. When I see somebody going off, when I see people acting a fool on Facebook, when I see people, literally, I catch myself saying, that's just dysfunction. Because I removed the eye of judgment from myself. And now I'm not emotionally invested in stuff that don't got nothing to do with me. Because when you walk in judgment, it keeps you on edge, because that's a habit and you want to feel like you're better than somebody else. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. Y'all ready? This the one I like. This the one I like. Y'all ready? A strong fireproof cabinet with a complex lock used for the storage of valuables. Now, let me tell y'all, and I get this, I'm telling y'all, when Festus said something like 2 or 3 weeks ago, y'all, that thing come up in everything that I do. There's a reason. So some of y'all trying to figure out, why didn't the dysfunction take me out? Why didn't it do what it did? Why didn't it manifest? That safe right there, that strong fireproof cabinet with the complex lock, that was your purpose. Ha! So you felt the vibrations of a lot of stuff, but purpose was your safe. Purpose, people played at the lock and they was trying to get in and you could feel it. And there were certain things that were around you, but purpose preserved you. Purpose has been your safe. But now, the reason, because you got to think about it. That means that if it's fireproof, that means this stuff coming out of every which way. Why is that so important? Because some of you been wondering, why didn't this happen to me? And why didn't this take me out? And why didn't this, and this? That's because you've been in purpose. And purpose has been your safe. And purpose has protected you. It did not eliminate the dysfunction. It did not close your eyes from the dysfunction, but it allowed you the ability in some cases to authentically rest. There are things I will never go through. Purpose preserved me. I will never be, and I have never been, in an abusive relationship. Purpose preserved me. But I still carried the dysfunction of my mother being in an abusive relationship with my dad and my dad being the abuser. The thing that purpose preserved me from was me getting into one. It did not eliminate the dysfunction. Oh, I was still dysfunctional. Yeah, child. Yeah, I was real dysfunctional. I just was like, you're not gonna hit me. That's what we not gonna have. Because I will be in prison. Because I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna sit here and tell the police I did it. Like, at this point. Like, that was me. That was mine. I was a little different. But it didn't eliminate the dysfunction. So I still had to get to the root. And I still had to expose it. So that way now I can authentically rest. Because I feel safe. Not because I feel safe, but because I am safe. What else does safe mean? Oh, can some of y'all put that down there? Fireproof. I want y'all to type that for me. Fireproof. Remember we had got that equipment and I had put that like that post up and the person was equipped and the fire was all behind them? Put that on the fireproof. Woo! I love it. 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 So now other safe definitions of safe: free from harm or risk, secure from threat or danger, harm or loss, obsolete, not threatening behavior, unlikely to produce controversy or contradiction, a place or receptacle to keep articles safe. That's right, y'all. Put fireproof on there. That's right, Don. Fireproof. 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 I'm going to tell y'all why. It just hit me. Fireproof. Fireproof. Y'all want me to tell y'all why fireproof is so important? Ooh! I'm so excited. Fireproof. Let me tell y'all why it's so important to be fireproof. That purpose makes you fireproof. Y'all ready? I'm gonna do a little, like, you know, I don't have to talk about the Bible that much, but I do. But this the story just popped in my head, right? The importance of understanding purpose, preserving you. The understanding of preservance. That's the word, right? So remember, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in them. And remember that, which one was it? Daniel had to walk in fire. Yeah, Daniel, right? I had to make sure I got it right. Daniel had to walk in the fire, right? Because of the dysfunction. Because he won't follow the rule. Remember, he wasn't supposed to be praying at a certain time, and people was mad. So even what we gonna do is we gonna expose him. But when you're preserved in purpose, it doesn't eliminate the impact of the dysfunction. It just will not allow dysfunction to kill you. So they put him in the fire, but him no get burnt. Dysfunction placed me somewhere that should have destroyed me, that should have killed me, but instead it killed those, it destroyed those that tried to place me there. Remember what happens when we confine ourselves? The lawbreakers convince us that we're the lawbreakers and we imprison ourselves. But all this time, we've been fireproof. It don't mean we didn't see it. I like that, Veronica. Put the fire up there. It don't mean we didn't see it. It don't mean we didn't feel that heat. What it meant is it didn't burn me. It didn't kill me. It did not destroy me. Because I preserved with purpose. So what we doing, y'all? How we coming up out of this? Tisha, what we got to do? Acknowledge the dysfunction. Accept the dysfunction. And when I say accept it, that means accept the gift that the truth is about the dysfunction. Embrace the dysfunction, because that's the only way you're going to be able to count it all joy. That's everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. You got to count it all joy. Everything, all in all. We're not leaving out no steps. We have to ascend the order. Y'all trying to skip the order. That ain't how this works. We got to ascend it. And when you kill it, when you destroy it, when it's dead, Do not go back. Do not resuscitate it. Don't sign, listen, sign that do not resuscitate order. Do not resuscitate it. Do not be afraid of the freedom of your mind. Do not be intimidated by this joy that you're able to count. Do not be intimidated by the fruitfulness of the soil and the rain and the reproductiveness that you see manifesting in your life. Because you've been so accustomed to this function that you fear freedom. You fear fruitfulness. You fear fresh starts. You fear these things because dysfunction has conditioned you to believe a lie. Dysfunction has clothed you in habits. Dysfunction has caused you to be out of alignment and not in harmony. Dysfunction has caused you to feel insecure. Dysfunction has caused you to imprison yourself. Dysfunction has caused you not to create generational wealth, but to continue generational cycles of dysfunction. You cannot allow, because some of you must understand that you're operating and feeling the residue of dysfunction. We're going to destroy it all. We're going to kill it. We're not going to mourn it. We're not having no memorial for it. We're not having no wake for it. We're not about to gather and reminisce on how it used to be. It's gone. It's a Manessa. We're not going to remember it no more. It is finished. It is the end. Yeah. The only way that you're going to be able to safely rest is that you're going to have to kill the dysfunction. See, all this time growing up in the church and stuff, and they used to always talk about, and God told them to go in there and kill everybody. The kids, the goats, don't take none of their money or nothing. It makes sense to me now. Because what happens is you go in and you reattach. All it needs is a living host. And now it's back. Some of you been going back and reassess all my words because there's so many of them trying to come up. So you've been resuscitating dysfunction. You putting like dysfunction on life support. You putting dysfunction, you telling them to keep it with the IV drip. Kill it. Some of you fear caused you to go back in there and tell them people to resuscitate dysfunction. Fear. But you'll never have freedom. You will never have rest until you kill the dysfunction. Expose it and kill it. That sounds harsh. I don't care. Expose it and kill it. That don't sound politically correct. I don't care. Expose it and kill it. And I know what's wrong right now. Because some of y'all got some deep hidden dysfunction. Those behaviors. And some of y'all still under the covering of the dysfunction. Latisha, what that mean? Because the person who violated you is in leadership, attached to you, family member, at the church, at the school, somewhere close, where ain't nobody gonna believe you. I don't care. Expose it. Because if you don't, one is gonna always control your actions, your responses, and your replies and your behaviors. Burn it up. Set it afire. Because, baby, I don't want breaking news. We interrupt your regular scheduled program to tell you that I broke the generational curse. So what you said is you just cut it up. We still gonna feel the pain from it unless somebody come back and put it back in place. Oh, we ain't even gonna talk about that. I ain't even gonna do it. I just got that. Kill it, okay? Don't resuscitate it. Cut it off. Destroy it. It gotta die. Because if it don't, you're just walking in a cycle that happens to have breaks. We don't want breaks. We want rest because we want freedom. So that's really all I got today, y'all. So is it safe to take a rest? It will be when you kill dysfunction. So I love y'all. Y'all, I feel so good. Like, it feels so good out here. It feel when I say out here, I feel good this morning. I feel good now because I know some of y'all gonna be out here killing dysfunction, slaying it, baby. I see it. Take the head off. I wish I had like a emoji or something. You know when cut Medusa head off? Is that Medusa? With the snakes and all that, and he cut her head off, but that heifer still had power. If you looked at her in them eyes, see me, I'd have cut her head off, and then I just probably start stabbing her eyes. I don't even want you to have power after that, because dysfunction is powerful now. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That's why y'all got to kill it. Dysfunction is powerful. I'm trying to tell y'all, we got to kill it. You're welcome, Janet. Thanks, Veronica. You got to kill it, friends. So what we gonna do is we gonna go ahead on and we gonna end right there. I wish I had like a song or something to end it with, because it just feels so good, right? It really does. I have to be honest. It feels really good. I love y'all. Same time, same place. On tomorrow, I don't know. We're gonna find out what we're gonna talk about. So we're not having breaking news. The news is dysfunction is dead. We killed it. We slayed the giant. And I do not go back and resuscitate it. Do not put it on life support. Do not just simply break from it, because that's what's wrong. I know it's making sense now. Some of y'all just been taking breaks from the dysfunction. And when stuff go like this, it gives it time to evolve into something different. No, just go and kill that. It's got to die. It's got to die. So I love y'all. Until tomorrow, thank y'all for always being on here with me. Veronica, Dawn, Janet, all of y'all. Miss Susan, all of y'all. Everybody. Teresa, my mama, my husband. I thank y'all. Y'all don't even understand. I don't think y'all get what's going on. To Festus, who supports all the way from Nigeria. One of my clients are in Canada, so she actually does watch it. Like, my clients in Belize. Like, y'all don't understand. But I love doing this, because I know that I am killing dysfunction one word at a time. So until tomorrow, make it a great day and go ahead on and kill dysfunction. I love y'all. Bye-bye.